Hey guys, so I have another video for you guys today, in particular about cheesecake. So my wife and I, we love cheesecake. It's probably our favorite dessert, but we hate buying those flat, disgusting store-bought cheesecakes. We usually get our cheesecakes from either the Cheesecake Factory or when we're at a nice sit-down restaurant. And we just realized that we've never made our own cheesecake. So I checked out a couple of recipes from our cookbooks and a few recipes off of YouTube, specifically the recipe off of Tasty. And we think that's the perfect cheesecake for us. So today, we are gonna try to make our very own berry drizzled cheesecake. Hopefully I don't screw this up because I think it would absolutely destroy me. But here's our take on the Tasty cheesecake. Alright, we're going to go ahead and make our berry Coulis, and we're going to grab 2 cups of mixed berries. We're using strawberries, raspberries, and blueberries, and a half a cup of sugar. We're going to pour everything into our pot. Make sure you're on medium to low heat and allow everything to melt and incorporate. Stir occasionally because you want to make sure those berries are softening. Allow it to simmer for around 10 minutes or so. You want to make sure the sugar completely melts. And then we're going to go ahead and thicken up this sauce by grabbing a 1/4 cup of water with a tablespoon of cornstarch. Make sure you mix it really well before you pour it in there. And remember, cornstarch has its own boiling point, so you have to allow that to simmer as well. I would let it simmer for around 5 minutes or so, just so it thickens everything up. Grab a lemon, cut it in half, and we're going to go ahead and squeeze half of a lemon into the sauce. This is going to give you that wonderful zest and citrusy taste. If you have an emulsifier, go ahead and use that. We didn't have one, so we used our blender. Go ahead and dump everything into the blender, and we blended it to a beautiful puree. This was our sauce straight from the blender. It had a really nice consistency. It's important to remember you have to let the sauce fully cool down before putting it into the fridge. We left ours in the fridge overnight with the cheesecake, and we were really happy with the consistency. Make sure you get every last drop. Alright, now it's time to make the crust. You need to buy a spring-form pan, and you need to spray the inside of the pan with cooking oil or with butter. Then you need to grab some parchment paper and you need to wrap the inside edges of the pan with parchment paper. The parchment paper gives the cheesecake a nice smooth surface. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the smoother you make it, the smoother your cheesecake will come out. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and grab 7 ounces of graham crackers, and we got to try to make this into a crust. I was off to a really bad start. Next, we're going to grab 1 tablespoon of sugar, and we're going to go ahead and dump that in with 5 tablespoons of butter. Now, I didn't have a food processor, so I was hoping I could pull this off with my blender. Clearly, there's not enough liquid in there. So we're going to go ahead and grab a spoon and just kind of get it in there and squish it a little bit. Alright, that should do it. Let's give it a shot. Alright. No. Shake it a bit. Nope. Alright, let's really shake it. No. Don't lose your cool. Just shake it a little harder. That should do it. Maybe I should try a higher setting. Let's play with the settings a bit. Okay, alright. Don't lose your cool. Just grab your spoon and just get in there and get angry. Ah. There we go. That did it. No. Alright, you gotta work with what you got. I got an idea. Let's use the mashed potato masher. There we go. That's not doing much, actually. The spoon was better. Let's get back to the spoon. Here we go. Just mix it all in there and get it all... You're embarrassing me. Alright, look, it ended up working out. I just kept smashing it and blending it, and there you go. Now make sure you get a nice flat surface. I'm using a glass. And spread out that crust nice and even before you bake it. That's super important. Alright, it's looking good, not too bad. I wish I had a food processor though, but whatever, that's in the past. Now put this bad boy in the oven for around 8 to 10 minutes or until he goldens up. To make the batter, you're going to need a 4-pack or 8 ounces of cream cheese. Don't get the light cream cheese, get the good stuff. Then you're going to need 2 cups of sugar. It's important that you put 2 cups of sugar. I know it's a lot, but this isn't the time to go on your diet. Now, the recipe from Tasty made this optional, but I think it's absolutely necessary. You're going to grab a half cup of heavy cream and you're going to throw that bad boy right in there. Don't forget to scrape off the edges. You want to make sure you're incorporating the entire mix and blending it together. Next, we're going to grab 5 tablespoons of flour and 2 cups of sour cream. Now, Tasty had an entire vanilla bean, must be nice, but I didn't have access to that, so I just went with vanilla extract. I think 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract will be fine. I kind of eyeballed it and it was pretty good. Tasty calls for 1 pinch of salt. I have no idea what that means, so I kind of eyeballed the salt a little bit more. There we go. Alright, here comes a really crucial step. We're going to start mixing the eggs. You have to put the eggs one at a time. You have to fully blend and incorporate the egg, but stop once the egg has been incorporated before putting the next eggs in. This is a really, really important step. Tasty's recipe really emphasized on it, and I have to agree with them. I think this is the secret to getting the cheesecake super fluffy and rich and creamy. Alright, the crust was done, so now it's time to pour the batter on top. I'm not gonna lie, I was tasting the batter as I was doing this, and I was getting super excited because this thing was on point. Make sure you spread the batter nice and even on top of the crust. You want a nice consistency. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just try to get it consistent. We gotta do a water bath. The recipe from Tasty really emphasized on this, and basically what the water bath does is it keeps a really dry oven from getting too dry. It allows some moisture in there, so when you're baking this cheesecake, it doesn't crack. They had a nice deep baking pan. I didn't have that, so I just used one of those like baking sheets. I made sure to double wrap it in aluminum foil, and I poured about a 1/2 inch of water. And honestly, it worked just fine. Do what you gotta do to improvise. Hey, by the way, how do you guys feel about the word moist? Moist. Moist. Moist? Okay, I'm gonna stop before I lose more subscribers. Alright, into the oven this thing goes. We're gonna go ahead and bake it at 350 degrees for about an hour. While that's happening, we're gonna go ahead and make the frosting. Frosting's super easy. You're gonna get 2 cups of sour cream, and you're gonna get 2 tablespoons of sugar. Add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I eyeballed it again. And go ahead and mix everything. You can mix it by hand. You don't necessarily need an electric mixer, but do whatever you want. Alright, so after an hour, you're supposed to shut off your oven and allow the cheesecake to cool in the oven for another hour. But we were adding frosting, and Tasty's recipe wasn't too clear on this, so I took it out after 45 minutes. I spread my frosting on top. I shoved that thing back in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for another 10 to 15 minutes. And this is what happened. Alright guys, so the cheesecake is all done, and here it is. I'm gonna go ahead and give the first bite to my wife. What do you think? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Like
that is
like Cheesecake Factory status, restaurant status. Like where are we at right now? I gotta go. I gotta take a bite.
gotta be honest, it's pretty spot on Cheesecake Factory. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of like
oh man, that's like
I can't think of like something they have like a flavor we didn't hit. Like it is
oh my goodness.
Good. It's good.
Oh, she took the she took the fork. Now she's gonna eat it all. It tastes like the Cheesecake Factory. It has like that fluffy, thick and creamy,
like velvety, creamy.
Yeah, the graham crackers, the crust on the bottom is like on point. It's really good. But it also has like this restaurant, like fresh taste. Like it was just made.
Yes, I think that's what it is too. Like
yeah. So like with the Cheesecake Factory, I feel like sometimes we go and it's fresh. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you can tell like it's
been on the shelf.
It's been on the shelf.
A little bit. Mm-hmm. This is Now this is legit Cheesecake Factory.
That's what I mean by like wow. That's what I mean by like a restaurant. Because sometimes when you go to a fancy sit-down restaurant, I feel like they just made it. They usually have like a pastry chef.
Yeah.
And they're making it as they go, right? Mm-hmm.
No, this is
really good.
Is really good. And your sauce is...
That's actually something else. So the sauce... So that's the one thing that's like throwing me off. With the Cheesecake Factory, I feel like the sauce is like even sweeter, right?
Sweeter than the cheesecake?
Well, it's just like, it's like all just like sugar on sugar. Like it's very sweet. This sauce wasn't from Tasty. This sauce was from our cookbook. And it has like this like citrusy zest, you know?
Like a tang.
Like a tang. And I think it works really well.
I really like it.
It balances it out. Like it keeps it sweet.
Yeah.
But it gives it that like tang, you know?
Yeah, because it's all berries that we used, right?
Yeah.
It's sweet, but
with that lemon zest, it really made it pop.
I think it's perfect. If you would have done it any more sugary, I think it would have been like a sugar overload.
Yeah, like it would have been like too sugary. Definitely, this is very easy to make. I think Tasty has an amazing recipe.
Yeah, if you're looking for that recipe.
I mean, look how fluffy this thing is. This thing is insane. Like,
and show them the like inside.
Look at that.
It maintained the thickness
and
all the way through to the inside.
And what really impressed me is like exactly how Tasty. Like if you follow the recipe and you put one egg at a time and you blend it and you don't over mix it, it's like fluffy. It's cooked beautifully. It's creamy. Like there's nothing wrong with it. That's the insane thing. Now I gotta say though, when I did the graham crackers, that was annoying. She's like watching me like, if you make a mess, I'm gonna like throw you out, you and your cheesecake. Like,
yeah.
We don't have a food processor, and
I could have sworn we had one, but I guess
I think I left it at my mom's, but I just felt like I'm gonna wing it. I'll just blend it. And then, of course, there's not enough liquid with that butter, so it didn't blend. I can hear the motor of the blender, like, struggling. So then I'm like, all right, I'm going to get my masher, my mashed potato masher, start mashing it and just, like, mixing it, blending it. That was a
You know what? I mean,
that was a pain.
You worked with what you got, what you had, and you still worked like magic. So it's fine. But it probably would have been easier to use the Ninja.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think
not.
we got to get a food processor.
We need a food processor.
So she just gave me the okay to buy one. We're buying a food processor. It's the first time I ever made it, so it took longer than usual. It was getting darker, and I was losing light, and had to keep rearranging the lights for the scene. So it was getting messier and messier. I started off very organized, and then it just got dirtier and dirtier.
Yeah.
Our daughter wants some. She's like, "What about me?"
She's over there like, "Hey, throw some berries my way."
So I think that's it, guys. We're gonna finish this off. You and I should start a food channel. What do you think? A couple's food channel?
We should.
We're not down.
All we do is cook and eat and try new recipes.
No, I don't feel like you're down. Are you down?
I'm down.
Are you sure? Okay, she's down. I guess we're gonna start a food channel, a couple's food channel. So stay tuned for that. Our daughter wants them. We gotta give her some before she bites us.
We gotta go.
Have fun. Try this recipe out from Tasty. Really good. Follow it to the T. You'll be okay. Follow my video on it. You'll be okay. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Maybe we'll do a red velvet.